All right, now we're on to the main lesson for lesson 28. Now remember, today we're working again with two-digit numbers adding together, where the ones place numbers are either going to be less than 10, 10, or more than 10. So make sure you have a blank space on your board or a piece of paper that you can do some math on. And our first problem is 15 plus 20 equals. All right, so we have 15 plus 20. Now today we're not going to use our 10 sticks. Now we could solve it that way, but we're going to use number bonds today. Because I want to keep working with a couple different methods of how we can solve problems. Because some of us like the number bond way better, some of us like pictures with tape diagrams, some of us like 10 sticks, drawings. But I wanted to work on them all so that we can all have practice with every single method. So we're going to use a number bond today. 15 plus 20 equals something. That's what we're figuring out. I'm going to pick the smaller number to break apart. I see it has ones and tens, so I want to split it into its ones and tens. So I'm going to draw a number bond underneath my 15. Now, if I were to split my 15 into its tens and ones, how many tens are there in my 15? If I look at my tens place, I see a number 1, so that must mean there's 1 10. So at 1 10, how many ones is that? 10. So I split my 10 into 15. So if I have 15 and I break apart a chunk of 10, what am I left with? I'm left with how many ones there are. How many ones are there? There are 5 ones. It says it right there in the ones place. So then you're going to have 5. Now, remember, if I take a group of 15 and split it into two different parts, do I have a group of 15 anymore? I don't. So what are we going to do to show that we don't have 15 anymore? We're going to cross it out. So now, instead of a group of 15 and a group of 20, I have a group of 10, a group of 5, and a group of 20. So technically, since this is part plus part, this number sentence could read 10 plus 5 plus 20. But I want to add my tens together. We always start by adding our tens. So I have 1 10 here and 2 10s here. What is 1 10 plus 2 10s? What is 1 cookie plus 2 cookies? Well, that's 3 cookies. So 1 10 plus 2 10s equals 3 10s. So how do we write 3 10s? I'll show you. Give me a second. Let me write this number sentence out. We had 10 plus 20. I'm going to write that right over here. 10 plus 20. And what does that equal? 1 10 plus 2 10s equals 3 10s. If we have 3 in the tens place, 0 in the ones, we have 30. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, we got a glare. I'm going to write it a little bit lower. 30. So if we added our tens together, we have 30. So I've used my 10 and I've used my 20. What is the only number left that I haven't used or that I don't have crossed out up here? It is my 5. What am I going to do with my 5? My answer is not 30 because I still have this 5 left over. What do I have to do with that 5? I need to add it on to my 30. So I'm going to bring my 30 down here and rewrite it. 30. And then since we're adding, I'm going to add this 5 on. So 30 plus 5. So what is 30 plus 5? Well, let's count on to find out. Let's put 30 in our head and count 5 more. Ready? Do it with me. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So our answer for 30 plus 5 equals 35. Then I can come back up here. I used my 5, so I can cross it out. Do I have any numbers left that we haven't used? I do not. So our answer is 35. 15 plus 20 equals 35. Awesome job. If we look at our ones places, 5 and 0, 5 plus 0 equals 5. So that was not more than 10. So we didn't have to add on an extra 10. All right? Because this 30 plus 5 kept it with 3 10s. Because 5 is not a whole group of 10. So we just kind of moved it over into the ones place. We replaced this 0 with the 5. Notice how right here is 3 and 0, here is 3 and 5. We didn't have to add another group of 10s on there. Alright, so great job. Erase your board or find a blank piece on your piece of paper, or a blank space on your piece of paper, and we will move on to our next problem. And our next problem is 28 plus 12. Now if I look at my ones places here, 8 and 2. If I were to add my 8 and 2 together, I'm going to have 10. So that's another group of 10. So I got to be conscious and be aware that I'm going to have to be sliding over that group of 10 into the tens place to add that extra one on. But that's down the road. Let's start with our number bond. I'm going to take the smaller number, because I like adding smaller numbers onto bigger numbers. So I'm going to take the smaller number and split that apart with my number bond. So draw a number bond underneath the 12. So I'll give you a little bit of time to write this up there if you haven't done that yet. 28 plus 12 with the number bond under the 12. Now I want you to start thinking, what am I going to split my 12 into? I want to split it into my 10s and 1s. So how many 10s do I have? And how many 1s do I have? We don't even have to really think that hard. We can just look right in the 10s place to see how many 10s there are. Here's the 10s place. I see a number 1. That must mean there's 1 10. So 1 10 equals 10. So there's the 10s. Now how many 1s do I have? I look right up into the 1s place. I see there's a number 2, so that must mean there are 2 1s. So I just write the number 2. And again, I just split apart my 12, so I don't have a 12 anymore. So I'm going to cross that out. So now I have 28 plus 10 plus 2 equals something. And that's what we're finding out. Now, again, I want to start with my 10s. If I do 28 plus 10, ooh, that's kind of tough. 28 plus 10. I'm going to write that out for us. Write it bigger. $28 plus 10. All right, so if I look at these two numbers, I could count on by 10, but I'm going to do it a different way. I see 2 10s plus 1 10. What's 2 plus 1? 3. So 2 10s plus 1 10 must equal 3 10s. So if I have 3 in the 10s place, but I do have some 1s. I can't put a 0 here because I have some 1s that I need to add on. So don't write that 0. I have 8 1s plus 0 1s. What's 8 plus 0? If you have 8 crayons and I give you 0 crayons, how many crayons do you have? You have 8 crayons. So 8 plus 0 must equal 8. So I must have 8 1s. So 28 plus 10 equals 38. All right, we're getting somewhere. Did we use our number 28? Yes, we did. So we already used that. Did we use our number 10? Yes, we did. So we crossed that off. Did we use our number 2? No, we didn't use our number 2 yet. It's the only number I don't have crossed off. So it must mean there's still something I got to do with that number. What do you think I'm going to do with the number 2? I'm going to add it onto my 38, the answer I got when I added these two together. So I'm going to take my 38, move it down here, plus 2. So I have 38 plus 2. Well, we're only adding 2 onto a number, we can count on very easily with that. So let's put 38 in our head. We're going to count 2 more. So ready? Do it with me. 38, 39, 40. All right, so we got 40. I'm going to write this one in black. Because we have 3 10s plus no 10s. 2 isn't a group of 10 yet. It's not enough. So we still have the 3 10s. And this is where this gets tricky when we have to add that extra group of 1s on. Because let me erase this for a second to make it a little more clear. If I were to work my way across here and just do 3 10s plus no 10s, I'd get 3 10s. And then 8 1s plus 2 1s, I'd get as 10. And my answer isn't 310. I need to take this 10 and add it on to my tens place. So 3 10s plus 1 more 10 is 4 10s. So that's where I got the number 4 for the tens place. And then we had 0 extra 1s after that. So our answer was 40. All right. Are you ready for one more problem? We're going to do one more and then you get to practice some on your own. So go ahead, erase your board or find a blank space on your piece of paper and we will move on. Our next problem is 18 plus 14. Alright, so we have 18 plus 14. And we're going to draw our number bond under 14 because it is our smaller number. So we're going to split that one apart. Could you split 18 apart into its 10s and 1s and add it on to 14? You could. You could split either of these numbers apart. Doesn't matter which one we're drawing the number bond under. I just want us all doing it under the same problem, so we're all doing the same exact problem. So we're going to do under 14. Now, what am I splitting my 14 into? You tell me. I want to split in my 10s and 1s, so how many 10s do I have in the number 14? I look right in my 10s place, I have 1 10, so that must be 10. Now, how many 1s are in the number 14? If we look at our 1s place, there's a number 4. So that must mean there are 4 1s. There we go. What do I do with my number 14 since I just split it apart? I don't have a 14 anymore. I'm going to cross it out. And now I'm going to add 18 with my 10 first. So we're going to write 18 plus 10. So we're adding these two numbers together. 18 plus 10. Well, if we look at our 10s places, we have 1 10 plus 1 10. What is 1 10 plus 1 10? Not just 2, it's 2 10s. We have 2 in the 10s place. And then if we look at our 1s place, I have 8 plus 0. What's 8 plus 0? It's 8. If you have 8 cookies and I give you 0 cookies or no more cookies, you still have 8 cookies. So we have 18 plus 10 equals 28. If you notice, when we add 10 to a number, the 1s digit stays the same. The only thing we're doing is adding one more 10, so adding another number in our 10s place. So it goes up from 1 to 2. That makes sense. We're adding 1 onto 1, so we have 2. Now, I used my 18, so I cross it out. I used my 10, so I cross it out. Am I done? Are we done? We're not done. Why aren't I done? What number do I still have left? I haven't crossed out number 4 yet, so I must have to do something with that number. What am I going to do? Uh-oh. What do I do with the number 4? I think I know. Tell me if I'm right. Am I going to add it on to my 28? I think I'm going to move my 28 down here, like we've been doing, and then add my 4 onto it. So let's do that. Slide my 28 down here, and then add my 4. So boom, did I use my 4? Yes, I did. So now we do 28 plus 4. Now, if we were to add our 10s together, we have 2 10s in the number 28. How many 10s do we have in the number 4? We have 0 10s in the number 4, because if I have 4 of something, I don't even have one group of 10. So I have 0 10s in the number 4. So 2 plus 0 10s, oh, I must still have 2 10s. Now I have 8 ones plus 4 ones. What is 8 plus 4? Well, let's do that one by counting on. Put 8 in your head with me right now, okay? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's my, we got 8 plus 4 equals 12. Can I write a 12 right here though? Is our answer 212? That's way too big. We can't just add these two small numbers and get a number in the 200s. So I must have done something wrong. If I look at my ones place is 8 and 4, that adds up to more than 10. So I have to add another group of 10 on here somewhere. How many 10s are in the number 12? How many 10s are in the number 12? There's 1. So we made another group of 10 when we added on the ones here. So I'm going to have to switch this 2 and add one more group of 10. What's 2 plus 1? It's going to be 3. So now we have 3 10s. I get rid of that 10 because I just added up there, and we're left with 2 1s. Where do you think the 2 is going to go? In the ones place for the number 30. So our answer is 32. 18 plus 14 equals 32. Nice job. That was a tricky one. Good work. But we got to always remember that we're paying attention to how many, or if our ones digits when added together make an extra group of 10. Because this time it did, and we had to make sure that our answer had that extra group of 10 in the tens place. Okay? So, for your assessment today, you're going to go over some problems. Or I'm going to go over some problems and show them to you, and I'll explain the directions a little bit more in the next video, okay? So awesome job, way to go. I had fun, and head on over to the assessment video and I'll read through the problems there. Good job again, guys.